Welcome everybody to the Splinterlands AMA, which stands for Ask Me Anything. And today is July 24th. It's 3 p.m., which is a standard time. I am recording this so that if you have any questions, you should feel free to put them in. I'm going to tag everyone, and away we go. So here's the thing. So it's a ask me anything. You guys can go ask whatever questions you want. You're all muted, and I can speak, and I'm just going to go through and answer these to the best of my ability. I have a meeting that starts at 3:30 that I have every intention of being right on time for. So sometimes I stall and do whatever, but today we're getting right into it. So I see a question from Dave. Can you comment on Too Curious's message in Discord? Separate leaderboards with appropriate end season rewards per league should have been implemented like a year ago or even earlier. I personally have talked a lot about this, but frankly just got tired of even asking. This should have always been a priority. In any good game, you want to be able to compare yourself with your peers. In this case, people who invested more or less the same amount into the game. For many, this is not possible at the moment because there are no separate leaderboards, hence giving no real sense of accomplishment. Yeah, we agree. I mean, what we're focused on right now is really like, what is the new player experience? We've been working on like a variety of different pieces of this, of just trying to make sure that the game works. We've had weird interruptions like the whole fork situation. There's more delays to this than we would have liked. The process needed some improvements of just more meetings, but productive meetings and trying to get stuff on board. So I actually feel like production and how we have things spread out and how things are working is probably the best we've had it. It's still going to take a little bit of time for that to actually actualize into front end things that you see. But I'm feeling better about how we're getting the workload onto our plates and off of our plates and the time in which that's happening. I agree that this is something that's important. It's something that we've spoken about, how to go do it. I mean, there's so many times where people are like, just do this. And what this is like a really complicated thing that impacts a million different screens. And we have 5 other promises that we've made. So there's always like, I don't know, there's never like an easy time where we can just relax and think through and be like, okay, here's the next thing we're going to do. Plenty of time, no pressure. Like there's a never ending list of things that need to be done yesterday. And that's the way that we try to operate. And this is a good idea. There's no doubt in my mind. It's not even a good idea. It's a great idea. And part of the frustration is that with the team that we have, even good ideas don't make the cut. Like you really have to be the most essential thing that has to be implemented to go get our development time and focus. But that said, we've made enough changes now where we're getting really close to, okay, we think that the back end is looking pretty good. We can catch new players pretty inexpensively. They're not all sticking around, so we're going to build this new player tutorial. In that is going to be some of this collection score, and in that is going to be some of the league leaderboards. And it's really about trying to help new players get started and allow for older players to sort of find their niche within this game and community and their sense of accomplishment. So I think all that stuff is coming. Like I'd love to say it was here 6 months ago, but it wasn't, and here it is now, and we're working on it. So just because things don't happen in the time span that players want them, like this is actually an extremely impatient crowd, and I'm it is what it is, and that's part of this. We are going as fast as we can. So that's happening now, and that's all kind of rolled up into what I'd call the new player experience, which is really like encompassing some of these different parts and is actively being developed this second. So when that's done, there's always other things that are happening in parallel, in part because the company that we have is big enough that we have enough different people working on different stages of this project. So Yanal Carr is asking boss fights when, and so the anytime tournament stuff is basically done for the meantime. Maybe there are some other changes that we'll be making, but the multi-stage tournament stuff is basically done for now. That's going to free up Cryptomancer to start working on implementing the guild wars and the guild tournaments, which is up next. We have some of that designed, done. Like a lot of the upfront work of how should these things work, I think we're in agreement on. Now we're waiting on the screens to get developed, which might be as soon as Thursday of next week. It might take 2 weeks or so. And then we can hand that off to Cryptomancer to really start implementing completely. So that's okay, because Cryptomancer still has a whole bunch of this collection score stuff to work on. So I'm hoping... I can't give deadlines. Matt wants to strangle me anytime I give a date. So I would say it's in the like end of the design stages, or maybe in the heart of the design stage, and should be able to be passed off to the developer soon. And we'll see how long that takes. But that's basically the next project that's coming. What else have we got? Question. When switching from mobile on the desktop version of the game, I noticed this pop-up showing the cards I've gotten since the last time I played on desktop. After playing for a week or two on mobile, the amount of cards can add up, can become time-consuming because the only way to get rid of it is to click. So how do you get rid of that? All right, so we'll pass that message along to Melon Man, and he's our new mobile development guy. So he can go take a look at that and see if there's a dismiss button that can be added into there. Will this one be posted to YouTube? Yeah, I still haven't had a second to add the last one, but you guys can ask some of the similar questions, I'm betting. And this time I won't be switching to like personal messages or old stuff. So this will be good. Any guild updates expected before Xmas? Yeah, I think I'd be pretty upset if we don't get guild wars or guild tournaments up before. So we have there's 3 new guild buildings that are coming, which are part of guild tournaments. So there should be guild buildings available in the shop in the not too distant future. You should have like guild faction points. You'll start accumulating those. And we'll be working on some of the rewards that you can get specifically for winning guild faction points. To start, I'm not positive about this, but I think we're going to make it so that the lower tier buildings you can purchase using dark energy crystals or credits, but the higher level buildings, I think we're going to make it so that you can only get them with guild faction points. And so you'll at least have some time where you just have to accumulate this, giving us a little breathing room. So that'll be some of the start there. When Moon, I can't answer that. Has the AMA started? The answer to that is yes. Is Splinterlands facilitating warlords in third world countries? I don't think so. I mean, I tend to think that people that can play the game and earn... if you can earn some money and feed your family, you are less likely to become a warlord than if you are absolutely starving and have to make sure your babies are okay. Question, is it possible to make the card stat more complicated and make the overall gameplay more complicated? With the land expansion that's coming, which will be after the guild stuff, the focus there is to sell land so that you can build buildings, collect things to then make items and spells, which can be used in game. So I think you'll get a bunch more like layers of interactivity for your matches when items and spells are here. And that's, we want to keep the mechanic of how you play still really simple, but make even more options of how you build your team smartly. So between some of the guild play options in Guild Wars and some of the items and spells that'll be coming, I expect we'll get some nice changes to how this all works together. Can you tell us where you are in the collection power? What is the process it will take when rolling out? So I think Matt and Cryptomancer are pretty much settled on the back end for collection power. I believe Nate has passed over his designs, and I think we're in the like final stages of implementing the first pass. The first pass of collection power should only be an indicator, so it will have no impact on the very first moment that it's implemented. It's like everybody's just going to get used to seeing this power, and then after we have some times to see, all right, where does everything land? What's going to make for some fair teams, and how can we use this the best way possible? And after people have gotten used to seeing that score and how it works, then we'll start layering in how it can impact game flow. So I don't think that's long for the world. My guess is that, but don't listen to this, but it's probably in August that at least that will go live. Not the whole thing, but at least seeing it should go live in August here. Question: there's any chance we can see if we received the new reward card in the mobile version? For anything mobile, just pass those requests off to Melon Man. Maybe we'll ping him after this. All right. What would your dream tech partnership be? What would your dream tech partnership to be able to land for Splinterlands? Tech partnership, I want to turn this game into a platform for games. And so one dream to be a platform for games, I think there's the sporting world and the entertainment world. On the entertainment side, I think getting Disney, HBO, or some big giant mega like a Netflix, any one of those could be pretty amazing. And on the sports side, NFL, NBA, MLB, any one of those would be amazing. And that's some of what we're working on now for some of the partnerships. Although it's not the highest priority, but it's right up there. Question: any ETA for when land and crafting will be introduced into the game? Just wondering if I should start saving up on deck for land instead of spending it on cards. I can't tell you what to spend your money on because that's a financial decision that's outside of my control. The land and crafting, we got to get through guild tournaments first. So until that's out, I don't want to start talking about like the land. I can tell you that we're using the guild stuff. Like the 3 guild buildings will be on 3 separate pieces of land. The older buildings are going to be on new pieces of land as well. And so we're at least playing with how do we introduce land into this game through the guild system, which is like the lightest touch we can make. So we're experimenting with this so that you can see what's that going to look like. So I can't tell you the exact moment. Matt's working on getting Asmare dice out, which are the orbs replacement. Hopefully that here is pretty soon. So you'll get like a new limited edition promo series available probably in early August. I don't know if we're going to make it next week. There's like a small chance it comes out next week, but it's probably in early August that the dice are out. Then Guild Wars, and then we'll switch our focus from the Guild Wars to basically all things land. So can't tell you exactly when that will be because Guilds is still pretty unknown. But Guilds is a much smaller project that has a lot of like cool impact, shop and new items and all this stuff. So we're gonna bang that one out before. But we also need boss fights in there too. So there's like a never-ending list of product roadmap things to get to. So we're working on all of it. But the land pre-sale is scheduled to be this year. What month exactly I can't tell you, but land the pre-sale for land with like a pretty good description of where we think that will all land. No pun intended. Should be this year. Um, when cubes, I just answered that. Cubes are gone, but it's the Asmari dice. Can we get daily mystery stats either through a card detail type page or a Discord bot? Um, yeah, I can ask. Daniel Sori is the guy that runs our Discord bot. That's probably that should be a easy enough command to add. I'll ask him to do that. What do champion points do? They don't do anything yet, but we've always intended for those things to be um, like some status. It's probably going to tie into the achievement system, is where I think that'll ultimately land, but we'll see. Will we celebrate the Untamed Equator pack selling? Um, yeah, we got to get a promotion going here relatively soon. I forget when the half lane ended. I think um, it's not guaranteed, but I hope that we do like four major promotions a year. So one per season, like not season meaning 2 weeks, but season meaning 3 months of the year. So we'll see what that looks like. No promises, but um, so I don't think that there's like an equator thing, but there should be some kind of promotion here in the not too distant future, maybe in a month or so. Where can I see how lands will work? There's a post about it that gives some of our first thoughts. I've answered when is the land expansion, when Splinterland, when the land, as Mary Dice, are you drinking mystery potions? Um, are there any stats on usage, win rate? Um, I don't know. I I don't have good stats on Dricken either, so I'm not sure what to say about it. I mean, I don't think that we're going to nerf it or buff it. I think that is the mystery pack card, and people will buy or sell as many cards as they want. I don't think the goal will be to make like seriously overpowered cards that only live in the mystery potion. We want useful things that are probably a little stronger than what you can find elsewhere, but we don't want game breaking ones. So Dricken is cool. It might not be as cool as PJ, but it's a pretty dope card. So hopefully people dig that. What would a partnership with Disney or the NFL look like? It would be us helping them create a collectible and then building a game based off of those collectibles. Question. Several people are concerned about the sustainable economics of the game. Can you address what you see as the health of the game economics in regard to both short and long term? Plus, can you include deck sinks that you see and new player acquisition opportunities? That's a sweet question, Dave. I don't know if that's meant as a layup or a tough question, but that's really the heart of this stuff. Just for token utility, like what gives a token value is really everything about crypto, like what makes it useful. So in this case, I think we're going to end up doing 300,000 dice, and we're probably going to raise the price a little bit for the dice, not massively, but a little bit. And I think that'll be in the hundreds of million of dark energy crystal. I got to check my math on that, but it's a lot. So I think dice alone could absorb quite a lot of deck. I think when guild buildings come out, there's going to be some nice stuff there, and that could absorb a lot of deck. There's a shop that will go along with the guild buildings. I think that could absorb a lot of dark energy crystals, and also these guild tokens. We'll have the land pre-sale. I think land will be we'll sell land for credits or dark energy crystals, so that'll be another avenue. Um, so I think coming in the next 6 months or so are going to be likely hundreds of millions of dark energy crystals worth of sinks. So so you might use that information with the current pricing as you see fit, and consider that whether you think how you think supply and demand will work out later. Could there be promotions around seasonal events in real life? Example, airdrops for death cards at Halloween. Yeah, that's fun. I don't know. I think we're gonna try. Like I said, we're gonna shoot for once a season, meaning fall, spring, winter, summer promotions, and we'll see what those look like. I it's too much for us. We can't. I mean, we're still small, so it's still hard to like have one event every month or something, which I know a lot of players would like. It's probably good for the bottom line too, but honestly, we're just more focused on full development of the game and making sure everything gets out. Land expansion, something to look forward to. How can I request beachfront property? Yeah, that should be fun. Man, one of the pieces of art that Nate shared, it's so gorgeous. I can't go look for it now. I needed to. I'm getting better at this. But next time, before right when it starts, I'll go show you some of the artwork for some of the land. And sort of like what is the base for the land and how is this stuff going to look. So there's like the land pre-sale look where you're kind of top down looking at it of like what is the open parcel, and then we're moving to a different like background and vector graphic that's kind of in front of that might be animated for when you actually own the land and start putting buildings on it. And the like this coastal property just looks so freaking gorgeous. It's really exciting to me. We'll be neighbors, all this other stuff. If you read the stats by Jace KW, the win rate of Archmage and PJ is very high. Is it fair to say without those summoners, it is quite hard, virtually impossible to get to the number one spot? So they are definitely more valuable than the current Dricken, right? Yeah, I mean, I do think that they're more valuable than the current Dricken. But one thing I'd say about that is like the number of people that ended up fighting for that card was much higher. So like you would have to get X many more of those packs to really get your chance at PJ or Archmage. For Dricken, if it's weaker, there's just not as many people fighting for them, and so your chance of buying fewer packs and getting it should be higher. So at the end of the day, all this stuff kind of like works its way out. So you won't have quite as much to combat with the other people. Are you and Matt wearing face masks, and how often are you going to crowded places? I mean, both of us are basically chained to our desks. We met with an accountant, and both of us were like, this is the first time in a long time we have been outside of our house. So we're kind of, that's as much as I want to say about that. All right, do you have plans for expanding on another type of monster, like a bleed around two classes, or like the IE, Fire Death, Fire Demon? I don't think that we're going to do anything inter Splinter anytime soon. And yeah, thank you, reseller. That image is just so gorgeous. Where is that place? We want Dragonland. Did you bought it? Beach property. Yeah, I mean that image is just so like pristine to me. All right, I got 6 more minutes. Any more news on the mobile app? Yeah, we hired a guy to go focus on it, and he's cruising. So he's actually going faster than what the designer is able to go keep up with all the other work that we're shoving at the designer. So I'd say that's making healthy progress, far more so than it was like the side thought for Matt. Now it's like the main thought for Melon Man, and it's just cruising. So it's going to take a little bit, but because there's a lot of stuff to do, but he's implementing all these things that were on our backlog, and it's going great. Will the land sale be based off of the Splinterlands maps from the book? Yep, it will be. All the stuff that is in the book is really the campaign setting for the entire game. So there. If you remove the bots from Splinterlands, how many human players do you think would be left active? Matt puts it at somewhere between 40 and 60% are real humans. So there's still plenty of human players, although I should go back and say the plan is not to eliminate bots. The plan is to ensure that a bot does not have any benefit there. How much of your time percentage wise is allocated to Splinterlands versus NFT showroom biz? Are there synergies? Yeah, so for me personally, I would put NFT showroom really under Hive Engine as like one aspect of Hive Engine. So my key things are Splinterlands, NFT showroom. And the vast majority of my time is spent on Splinterlands, and then I do maybe 1 to 2 hours a day, every day, for Hive Engine things. A lot of that is like project management and being like, okay, you guys are doing this, you guys do this, please focus on this needs designed, and then I kind of hand that off to everybody. So to me, one of the reasons why I've spent so much time doing those sorts of things is that I absolutely think in order for Dark Energy Crystal, for the SMTT, for all of the pack tokens to have as much value as possible, there have to be many more components to the Hive ecosystem than what currently exist. And so, absolutely, one of the reasons why I've spent as much time on Hive Engine is that I like 100% am consumed by the thought that this whole ecosystem needs more stuff if we really want to keep people interacting here. And so I spend a lot of time on that because like we need these other components to really build an ecosystem. Splinterlands is an amazing piece, but by itself, I just don't think it's enough. So we need other parts. 4 minutes, guys. So do you have plans for more ways to play your cards and earn on them, like a PvE alternative? If so, where does it fit in the roadmap? That gets into boss fights, which I didn't mention when I was explaining the roadmap. Yeah, once the guild wars are done, I don't know how this will work, but the land and the guild like boss fights will probably be done somewhat simultaneously. So so the PvE is coming. That's absolutely part of our intention. Maybe there were some like if you want to move up a class or a tier or a league, you might have to fight some smaller boss fights. That's been floated around. That it doesn't have like a strong consent of all team members behind it, so I don't know if that'll happen. But that's maybe one spot. Are there world championships being planned for Splinterlands with bigger prizes? I mean, that's kind of what the Brawler is. The Brawler's like, monthly 1 million dark energy crystals, so that's pretty awesome. When will users get the digital copy of the Encyclopedia? Yeah, we're coming up on that. I want to go give a little bit more exclusive time to the book owners to experience that, but I do think that we'll put out a PDF. How is the growth of new players in the last few weeks? 2 to 5 players, real players. I don't know what that means, but here, let's go pull this up. I'm looking. Give me a moment. I'm looking. Let's see if this is showing up. So far this month, we've added 1,751 new players. And over 1,000 of them have been battling. I want to get that ratio higher, which is why we're spending a lot of time doing the new player tutorial stuff, but that's on the list. So that's coming. So 1751 is a little small, but we kind of stopped advertising just because we weren't seeing the real returns. But as soon as the new player tutorial is implemented, which I hope is like, shit, I'm going to get yelled at for dates, but I'm hoping that's like 2 to 3 weeks out. I don't really know. I should probably put in more buffer time, so maybe 4 to 5 weeks. But I'm hoping that I really want that to be before the end of August. That we have the new player tutorial in, and then once that's in, I can go back to pushing marketing, and we can see how well that does. The Brave ads actually paid for themselves, which was pretty amazing to see, which means that that's kind of like a perpetual growth machine. So we have a little bit of scaling work to do. We have a little bit of the marketing stuff, and it's all kind of coming along. So, okay, this is, we're at 3:30 and I'm going to go get away to the Bit Angels. So I tried to go as quickly as I could. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your questions. Next week will be normal and it should be the hour-long AMA. but there's your 30-minute one. I'll try to get this up as soon as I can, and hopefully next week you guys will come with questions, and I should be further along on a bunch of these things, and we can just talk about it. So I don't think I'll grab Matt for the next one, but for the following Ask Me Anything, I will try to grab Matt for early August and talk through the various big pieces that are coming. So thanks all for being here. I got to sign off, and I'll try to get this put out there shortly. You guys have a beautiful day, beautiful weekend, and thanks for playing Splitterlands.